Talking to the Dead, Chapter 9. Here we're going to resume with soul plans. But we're going to start to delve a little bit deeper in the story of Kelly and how that's played out. Because again, this seems to be an area of fascination by many, wanting to understand what this incarnation is all about. And as we mentioned in the previous chapters, and we repeat again here, each of these chapters build upon each other. They layer and stack so that the linear mind can start to conceptually appreciate the depth in which a soul plan really parlays into the experience of the avatar. If we were just to stay in a linear chronological order, a lot of this would make more common sense to the one listening. I was born, I was given a name, I was given an identity and a family, and off I went into the world. And that's how we perceive and receive it. Yet when the clearing takes place, as described in the previous chapters, there seems to be an ability for the filters to now recognize that time and space illusion is no longer necessary. And as that begins to dissipate, the incredible things are noticed, such as anything that appears to be happening now is the only thing that's ever been. What we refer to as a past or a future is some distant photograph from a past or a future that we refer to as our story. We even have the memories that go with it, such as this one of little Kelly at the beach. This is her celebrating Easter with her family, probably around 4 or 5 years old. And this is often the way that they would apparently celebrate. Her father, Kevin, would wake them all early before the sun would rise. Her mother, Charlene, had already prepared their Easter gifts, which were packed in sand buckets with shovels and rakes. And off to the shore they would go. Kelly was apparently raised in Virginia Beach, Virginia. And they would drive to that beach, and they would arrive before the sunrise came up with their breakfasts and their Easter baskets and their delight in sitting on the shore watching the sunrise. There was often a celebration of some type of service down at that beach. It didn't really matter which religion at this stage, because although she was raised Catholic and that was the plan of her parents, there was always an openness to explore other religions, which I very much appreciate about my parents. They always said, "We will raise you this way, but when you're old enough to make that decision for yourself, we support whatever you decide." So on these Easter trips and these Easter occasions, they would spend the afternoon at the shore, watching the sunrise, being grateful for the shells and the ocean sands and seas, and just enjoying each other. There was laughter, there was joy, and there was such a feeling of being loved. The balance of this with all of the other chaotic events in the story of Kelly seemed to have laid a foundation of her appreciation for nature, for loving and appreciating the beauty of the world, for her interest in exploration and being somewhat of a gypsy soul, and her desire to always be open to spontaneity and trips without any plans. Her parents afforded this to her so many times, countless times, The car was packed up and off they went with no notice at all, sometimes to the mountains, other times to the shores. There were camping trips and outings, and this seems to be playing out in her adult world now. Yet, as she looks at this, in the experience of Kelly as an adult, she's aware that that's only a memory appearing to her as a fragment through a photograph. Yet, can she ever know that it happened? Of course not. None of us can. We attach to things we call memories, and we say, "This is what I knew." But like anything else, it's just a dance passing through. The identity of it being ours is where the suffering comes in. If the dance can pass through as just a beautiful memory, it's seen as joyous, even if it wasn't joyous at the time. The suffering comes when the labels about it are stacked on top of what appear to be that memory, the memory that can never be truly known as mine. Certainly, we can find others who will validate that that experience happened. Kelly could call her sister, "Hey sis, did we really used to go to the beach every Easter and celebrate with our buckets in the sand?" And that other avatar will absolutely confirm this. Yet that too is just an aspect in the play of Kelly. It's all been determined and pre-written. Of course that aspect would validate it, or maybe perhaps would deny it, leaving Kelly feeling like she's lost her mind. Neither nor matter. What matters is that the ability to appreciate it without clinging, the ability to adore it without attaching, the ability to recognize it without pushing it away, is where the beauty lies. Oh, look, this beautiful little girl sitting on the shore. She appears solemn, or she appears joyful. We each take away from it what we're perceiving in the moment. I think we've all recognized this at some stage. Perhaps you've posted a photograph of yourself where you felt so beautiful, and someone comments, "Why do you look so sad? Why aren't you smiling? Why aren't you this or why aren't you that?" That is their perception, which apparently is coming from their own filters, their story about you. Now in that moment, you can easily take that story on as your own. Yet before they said anything, all you noticed was how beautiful you felt. And in an instant, you're solemn. You're sad. Why do you look broken? The photograph is no longer beautiful to you. Yet nothing at all changed. This is how simple and subtly the stories storify. Cling to none. Let every thought about everything move through. There's not one thought here, not one identity that Kelly could truthfully say is her own. What she notices now is their aspects moving through. Just like anything, just like the waves, they ebb in and they ebb out. And maybe, perhaps maybe, it never even happened. This moment is the only one that can be known, and as soon as I point to it, it's already the past. If I am attempting to look out into what we perceive as a future, I am already outside of this moment yet again. Anxiety often sets in when I'm in the future, and depression seems to take hold when I'm in the past. Yet when I'm right here, right now, where words can't touch it, there's only this. Just this. Kelly refers to it as the crack in the sidewalk. That one where as a little girl she saw the ants climbing about, seeming to assist each other, seeming to collaborate together, seeming to meet and join each other to carry that heavy crumb all the way back to the nest. Busy, busy, busy little ants. In the stillness of being the 3-year-old looking down, thinking, am I that in someone else's world, opens it up. It just keeps going, like those little dolls that stack inside of each other. Each one that you open, there's another inside, and another, and another, and another, and another. As we become more aware of this awareness, it too expands. That is, in fact, part of the soul plan. Yet, it is not linear or chronological. It's wiggly, squiggly. It has no timeline. It doesn't know a past or a future. It doesn't have preference for either or nor an interest in exploring either. It's simply, absolutely appreciative of whatever arises. It lives in gratitude and joy and celebration of this moment just as it's appearing, with no conditions or expectations of it. Love just keeps loving. It's boundless in its ability to take hold here, and everything else reabsorbs and transmutes to this truth, whether the one recognizing it wishes for that or not. The love is so boundless, it is in fact the way of it. Again, we hope that these messages are coming in a stacking and layering way that you as the end listener can start to appreciate the simple joys of being in a physical vessel. It is in fact such a gift. And when we are aware of that and we're able to stay in that joy, we are able to receive and perceive it and offer it to others with a level of beauty and intimacy that's never been known. That joy is so palpable. That love is so deeply embedded within this one, recognizing it, that the mirror reflection can only return that. We are so grateful you continue the journey with us. We have no idea where this is going. Each day that Kelly goes to record these is new to us as well. This is arising in the infinite wisdom of we, us, the collaboration. So the reason it resonates as the listener hears it is because you are part of that collaboration. We, us, embarked on this together, and we continue to explore all that is said here as one and not even that. Much love. Until next time.